What's up? What's up? There we go. Wow, what happened to my voice just then? But hello YouTubers, and welcome back to another live stream with one half, the remaining half, the only half. Sad times, you know. But me, NJ. What's up? And this live stream is going to be talking about the WWE SmackdownLIVE, the draft, Battleground, and just overall thoughts. And depending on the outcome of this live stream, this video, there may be follow-ups due to what is yet to come for the WWE and its whole concept of moving wrestlers to Raw, SmackDown, departing them from NXT. So we'll just see how it goes. But here's just so I can give my thoughts and read your thoughts. So let me get the chat open, because I was expecting or hoping that Google Hangout would have the chat box built in to the screen in front of me, but it doesn't. So I'm having to open the chat from YouTube. So bear with me. Beautiful, and got it. Okay, so here we are, and this is going to be so I can share my thoughts on the WWE draft, and we open up with the Raw general manager, the Raw host, the Raw commissioner, the Raw sheriff, the Raw owners, whatever you want to freaking call them, Mick Foley and Stephanie, and the other side, Shane and Daniel Bryan. Nice setup, good way to kick off right into the concept of the show. And as it was building up, you get the names over on Raw, Seth Rollins. And what surprised me about Seth Rollins being the first pick of the WWE draft, and I know it's Stephanie playing the heel and choosing the heel to be on her side, but there was a moment in time when the relationship between the Authority, the McMahons, and Seth Rollins had changed. It had finished, but they still had him as their first pick. So maybe it hasn't finished. Maybe they're still going to treat him as their baby, their golden child, which is good, because I think Seth Rollins would be a good top guy for the WWE. So why not continue to make him feel like a big deal? I just felt that going back to the Raw where Stephanie had said things have changed, it was just a little bit of a surprise. And also the fact, aren't the WWE for the last 3, maybe 4 years been trying to push and build Roman Reigns as their top guy, as the guy to look out for, their future John Cena, or the next John Cena, or the next top guy for their company? But instead of naming Roman Reigns in the top number 1, or even in the top 3, it just surprised me that, you know, let's not mention Roman Reigns straight away. But obviously, yeah, they got picked because they're not going to miss out Roman Reigns. I just was surprised he weren't number 1, or at least in the top few. So there we go. They've got Seth Rollins. And clever enough, SmackDown could have said Roman Reigns, you know, take the next big thing, the guy that is eventually going to be carrying things or trying to carry things. And I felt that SmackDown would have been a better show for Roman Reigns. And let me tell you for why. For quite some time now, Roman Reigns has been getting a bit of backlash, a bit of hatred, and a bit of unconnectivity with the WWE universe. So to have him on SmackDown to rebuild himself, re-find himself, have Daniel Bryan and Shane working by his side to build him up, to help him find himself. That would have been cool, I think. I think that would have helped Roman Reigns. Instead of having him on Raw, which is still going to be the A show, the #1 show, and having the same old you know what I'm saying? Because he's still on Raw, he's still on the main show, he's still going to be the headline, he's still going to be the attraction. Yes, he's got Seth Rollins there with him too, but at the end of the day, it's Roman Reigns, and I feel he's still going to be the guy the WWE are going to want to grab hold of and push. And on Raw, I don't think they're going to make him start from the bottom or start lower to find himself, rebuild himself, like SmackDown could have done. I think with the wrestlers that SmackDown were given or drafted, he could have had other competition slots to have rebuilt himself. But let's look at the other wrestlers that were drafted. The WWE Women's Champion, Charlotte, and eventually with Dana Brooke. Okay, this one I'm fine with because it's the champion. You know, you want to look good with having the champion on your show. But the relationship between Charlotte and Stephanie hasn't always been rock solid. Like, they're sisters. They're going to complement each other. But with the relationship with Triple H and Charlotte behind closed doors, it's good to keep Charlotte and Triple H mates, kind of working side by side and stuff. And with Charlotte on the main show, and Charlotte, even with the championship or without, she's still going to be the top women wrestler. She's still going to be that. So I could see why she was on Raw. I'm not going to go through the whole list I've got in front of me. No, I'm not. I'm just going to pick out ones that I question or want to say something about, so don't worry. And for the people that's in the chat at the moment, share your comment in the comment section below, and with the chat I've got open, I'll shout you out and read your comments. There we go. The big one as well is Finn Balor is on Raw. At the beginning of 2016, he tweeted the fact that his goal for this year is to become the WWE champion, or back at the time, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And I'm not saying it's not going to happen, because now with the split shows, possibly the split championships, which we'll get to later in the video, the opportunity is there. And with the name Finn Balor, especially with the network being plugged and NXT being plugged, people may know who Finn Balor is. So the WWE may use the network factor, the pumping of NXT factor, and make Balor champion. But for a name that's been floating around in the WWE, mentioned all over the internet, it's been spoken about, and he's made it to Raw. He's made it to the WWE. And if I say have him on SmackDown because he's branching up, he could have worked through SmackDown and gone up to Raw. Maybe, But Finn Balor's red. That means he should be on Raw. Not really, but Finn Balor on Raw. Nice move, but with the name of Finn Balor going to Raw, it's like, oh wow, Raw's got Seth Rollins, they've got Charlotte, they've got now Finn Balor, 3 big names. Well done, Raw. You know, it's definitely making Raw stand out with the names it's getting. And then they take the guy who I said should have gone to SmackDown, Roman Reigns. Nia Jax eventually got mentioned and drafted up to Raw. Okay, I've always liked the idea of having an alpha female, a dominant female, because hopefully with her booking she'll be, you know, no one's going to take me down. She may not need to rush towards the championship. No, I think just be a wrecking force in the split women's division. Split because some gone to SmackDown. I'm not sure how much destruction she's going to cause. Maybe she'll get a Royal Rumble spot. But I don't know how much destruction she's going to cause with the split women's division. She's not going to just storm through the numerous women wrestlers to prove that she's the alpha female, because there's not really that much female wrestlers to accomplish that dominance for one show. But you know, I do like the idea of bringing more women wrestlers up to the main shows. We've got the how do you pronounce your name? So I had to look into it because I've got a new laptop. It's kind of smaller now. How do you say your name? Pub. But let me just read a little bit more. Brock Lesnar, the guy who was once the big thing going on SmackDown back when they did the first draft. So he had the feeling of being SmackDown's top guy. And with all the progression he's had since the first draft to now, he's pretty much dominant for both shows. He's the top guy, he's the top wrestler, he's the dominant force of the WWE. So I can see why he's on Raw. But then again, that's another huge name. A name who's done so much in the WWE, UFC, name power, and he's on Raw. So that's another big check for Raw. A big tick, a big thumbs up, big gold star. New Day. Sorry, I was trying to get into the swing, but my mind was too focused thinking, wait a minute. One of your biggest tag teams in WWE for quite some time is on Raw. So that goes back to the point that Raw seems to be overpowering SmackDown. Raw seems to be getting all the big names. So a part of me thinks that New Day, as much as I love them, as much as Raw's the show that I would put my time into watching, I felt with the amount of wrestlers and feuds they've had, why keep them on your #1 show? Because who else is there for them to face? Yes, there's some tag teams coming up from NXT to the main roster, but I still think that you don't really want to rush those feuds. That'd be another accomplishment for the New Day. So to have them on SmackDown, have them put to a side for a while on the show that is meant to be rebuilding itself, becoming a better show, have New Day on there, allow New Day to help the tag team division on SmackDown, have them on the show that needs more attraction, needs some name power into it. Have them on Raw. Great, you're on the A show, #1 show, but you've accomplished a lot as it is. You've done enough as it is. So I don't fully understand, but from this point right now, why they're on Raw? I don't get that part just yet. I'm gonna name two together here: Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. They were both drafted to Raw, and I know the WWE want to use their history to make them a big deal for the WWE by having them feud against each other, be against each other at all times. But I feel that this feud to be made into a big deal for the WWE, they need time, they need progression, they need little flashes against each other. And I think being on separate shows would have given us that. The odd occasion against each other, the odd face-to-face moments, the odd promo on Raw, promo on SmackDown, speaking out to each other. Now, having them both on the same show, it's like the WWE are just going to give us that match whenever they want. They're going to have them face each other numerous times, and that's the feud done over with. That's the big blockbuster history-making feud already done in the WWE. Oh, I know. We'll just come back to it every few months. I think they should have been on separate shows and had a promo about each other, faced each other, or had a moment with each other at a pay-per-view when Raw and SmackDown are together. So I'm kind of disappointed that Zayn didn't go to SmackDown. That's just how I'm seeing this right now. I don't think having them on the same show was ideal. I don't think so. I think this is going to become a John Cena, Randy Orton, Sheamus, Daniel Bryan, Kane and Big Show thing. I think these two are going to be in each other's faces a lot on Raw. And the speciality of this match, this feud, the history of these two is going to be overdone. So I didn't really like the fact that these two were on the same show. Sasha Banks, another very crowd-pleasing name, another fan favorite. That's on Raw. So well done, Raw. You've got another big name. You can see a trend coming here. I will get to the SmackDown wrestlers later. I will get to them. But you can see a trend already starting when I'm naming some Raw wrestlers here. But, you know, I'm sure she's going to do great on Raw. Chris Jericho, I'm surprised that he's still here. I'm surprised he's not ran off to do a Fozzy thing or have some time out of the WWE. So having him drafted to Raw, you know, I'm not saying Chris Jericho is not a top name for the company. He is and he always will be. But he's not as big as he used to be. And I think being on SmackDown to put over the talent that SmackDown has would have been better. But, you know, with Cesaro and Jericho having a current feud right now, I can see why they're on the same show. It's nice to have Cesaro on Raw because it shows some importance to Cesaro. But to have made this Jericho putting over other talent thing work, Cesaro and Jericho could have both been on SmackDown. Scrolling down, Rusev instead of The Miz on Raw. Why not? I think Miz is a talent that he's finding himself again. He's getting his TV time again. And I think that would be great for SmackDown. Nice move. Rusev, again, finding himself, rebuilt himself, hopefully going to be made into a big deal again on Raw. Very happy. Enzo and Big Cass on Raw. If they had New Day on SmackDown, I would have been very happy to have these on Raw. The top tag team, New Day, on one show, and the future top tag team, Enzo and Big Cass, on another. Bada bing, bada boom. You've got your two top tag teams on separate shows. And if you can hear background noise, it sounds like, yes, my dad's building something for the garden. So apologies for that. I'm just scrolling down now. You broke up Sin Cara and Kalisto. Fair enough, Kalisto's off to become a bigger name in himself, while Sin Cara, I think having him away from Kalisto is made him have to work that extra bit harder, because I think the pairing of him and Kalisto saved Sin Cara. It gave Sin Cara good TV time. It gave Sin Cara someone to work with, bounce off. And without that, I'm really not sure what this is going to mean now for Sin Cara. Okay, I'm going back to the chat quickly. I'm Paul NJ. Oh, forgive me. Hello, Paul. Nice to see you. Welcome to this stream. If you have any thoughts about WWE Live SmackDown, leave them in the comment section below and I'll read them out. If you have any thoughts on Battleground, leave them in the comment section below. The draft picks, leave them in the comment section below. Let's get a discussion going while I'm sharing my thoughts on the picks. Dudley Boyz made it to Raw. I'm sorry, WWE, you have really effed up the Dudley Boyz. They're a huge name from the Attitude Era. They're a huge name in the tag team division. But since they came in, you rushed them through a New Day. You put them into other feuds. They didn't really come out on top. So what are you expecting from the Dudleys now? They've not really gone anywhere. They've not really accomplished anything. And it's like the Dudleys have done their part for the WWE. They've done their part for their return. They can go now. Bye, Dudleys. Thanks. I don't see why the Dudleys had to get such questionable / bad booking. They were put in high-profile matches, yes, but the Dudleys didn't really come out looking like a big deal. I think they've been mistreated since they came back. And now you've got them on the A show. Another big name for your show, but for a tag team that hasn't really done justice since they came back. Maybe they could have been on SmackDown. Maybe. Braun Strowman. The Wyatt family are starting to show cracks and departure. Yes, we've still got Bray Wyatt and Eric Rowan, possibly Luke Harper on SmackDown. So there's still the trio. But I think Bray Wyatt looked up to Braun Strowman as, this is my beast. This is my dominant guy. This is the guy to watch out for. And now, because of the past big guy versus big guy moments they've had, Braun Strowman, Big Show, Braun Strowman, I think Mark Henry at one point, Braun Strowman and Big Cass, they're pretty much thinking, you know what? I would like to see more of that. Let's have Braun Strowman leave the Wyatt family just so he can go up and have these big guy versus big guy matches. Okay, I can see that concept. I can see that it's been a reoccurring thing in the WWE. But him and the Wyatt family worked. It was like Bray Wyatt had the dominant backup. If he couldn't rely on Eric Rowan and Luke Harper, he had the beast of Braun Strowman. And if Bray Wyatt ever faced Big Show, Big Cass, he had Strowman there to have warm-up matches for him. It's good that you want Braun Strowman to be his own name, but it should be to put over Bray Wyatt. I don't think Braun Strowman really put over Bray Wyatt enough in their time as the Wyatt family, and maybe they could have done that on SmackDown together before branching Braun Strowman off on his own. Maybe. But good luck to Braun Strowman. You're on your own. Good luck. Okay, I've gone through the Raw wrestlers I want to talk about. I don't really want to talk about Social Outcast because I'm surprised they're still together. I don't want to talk about Jack Swagger. I'm surprised he's still in the WWE. No disrespect, but he's not really done anything over the last 2 years. I was trying to think what number to say to really count. Titus O'Neil, big question mark. Maybe, hopefully, the WWE are going to continue making him a big deal. Someone to watch out for. Sheamus. I'm sorry. Sheamus is a big question mark for me. It's like Sheamus is walking around complaining, "Oh, you're laughing at me. You're laughing at me." It was like, okay, is he on his way out? Is he in a mood because he's on his way out? Are the WWE don't know what to do with him anymore? They're giving up on him. So to have him a certain draft, live draft, and put him onto Raw, really? Could he have gone to SmackDown? Does Sheamus really want to be there? I don't know. So good luck, Sheamus. I wonder what's coming from you. The club are together on Raw. Maybe that's because of the rumors of Finn Balor and the club joining forces. Maybe. Or maybe it's just, we want another tag team on our show that we're going to be concentrating on. So let's have them on Raw because they're the tag team we want spotlighted. I don't know. But I'm leaning a bit more towards the club. I think if Finn Balor's not going to be a base, he's got the club to fall back on. Just my thoughts. Do you think we will see any trades from the flip? Paul. I do think that we're going to be getting some contract signing moments, some turn your back on your brand moments. I'm not sure how soon, but I do think it's going to happen. I think, I'm surprised. The Intercontinental Championship is on SmackDown. I always thought that was a Raw belt. Maybe I'm wrong and I've missed the time when the Intercontinental was on SmackDown. But I do think we're going to be getting some draft from Raw to SmackDown moments over the next couple of months, weeks, whatever. But I think it's going to happen. Because of how the draft went, I think there's the chance of trades happening again. Okay, having a little look at the SmackDown roster. Dean Ambrose, AJ Styles, there we go. I do think AJ Styles is a good fit for SmackDown. I'm not sure how quickly the WWE are going to make AJ Styles a top name for SmackDown. Have AJ Styles versus the main championship, having become number one contender for the main championship. Have him against Randy Orton. I'm not sure how soon this is going to happen, but AJ Styles being spotlighted on SmackDown, a guy who, even though he's already done big things on Raw for the WWE, having a name power, because even though he's only recently came into the WWE, in the world of wrestling, he's still a big name. So SmackDown's got that. John Cena, I've already said that. John Cena is been doing a lot of wrong for the WWE. You could compliment the open challenge, but the guys who he faced, John Cena always won. The guys look good, but looking good doesn't always create pushes, because Zayn, I think, got more of his name from his past and now the Owens feud. I think Cesaro got his name more because of his in-ring ability. I don't think because he faced John Cena. You could say he's almost beat John Cena numerous times. Yes, but if that really meant anything, don't you think Cesaro would be a main eventer right now? Don't you think he'd be against the likes of Randy Orton, John Cena a bit more often? I wouldn't say Brock Lesnar, no. But don't you think he'd be Sheamus? Chris Jericho, you could say he's doing that right now, but I don't think the Cesaro versus Cena thing really escalated or made a big deal there. So if Cena starts to do the right thing on SmackDown, if he faces the likes of AJ Styles again and he loses to AJ, good. I think the draft, the move to SmackDown was a good idea. If he loses to Bray Wyatt this time round, well done. The draft to SmackDown was a good idea. But right now, I don't have much faith in John Cena. I don't. I don't think John Cena's much to write home about. Message retracted. Paul, what were you saying? Did you just delete your comments? Did you just delete your comments? Who else was on SmackDown? Baron Corbin. Even though he won Andre the Giant Battle Royal, Memorial Battle Royal, even though he had a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 month feud with Ziggler, it didn't really create Baron Corbin. So to go on SmackDown to accomplish stuff on SmackDown, the uprising show, instead of being pushed straight to what I still think is the case, the top show, good idea. Allow Baron Corbin to grow from this, move to SmackDown. Del Rio, he could become a top name for SmackDown without the League of Nations, United Nations, the multicultural worldwide club. He could go back to being a top guy for SmackDown. I don't think it would be. I don't think it'd be a bad idea, because Del Rio's been in the main event before. He was pretty good there, I felt. So to have him a top name for SmackDown, top mid-card main eventer. Cain, I'm glad you've got him on SmackDown, because I think Cain is not who he used to be. He's not who he should be. So to have him on SmackDown to fill in moments when you need him, good idea. Apollo Crews. I think that's the thing. Sheamus is on Raw. Apollo Crews is on SmackDown. Did that feud actually go anywhere? Did the Apollo Crews and Sheamus feud actually go anywhere? I don't think it really did. So why have you got them on separate shows? Why is that feud not finishing? Why is Apollo Crews not coming out on top? Why? What? I'm not saying Apollo Crews is at a dead end. No, I'm pretty sure there's another feud coming up soon. But I would have preferred a proper feud finishing point for those two. And the thing between Big Show and Apollo Crews, that's finished now, because you've got Big Show on Raw, Apollo Crews on SmackDown. There's little points here. Mojo Rawley on his own on SmackDown, maybe because they have some plan for him. So good luck to him. So there we go. There's some thoughts on certain wrestlers being switched between Raw and SmackDown. I'm going to have a quick read of the chat before I go into Battleground. Bones playing up. I said something will happen at Battleground or the Raw after. No, the feud felt like nobody cared. That's the thing. Even if nobody cared, it could have still finished at a. It could have still finished at a B grade pay per view. They could have still had Sheamus versus Apollo on a B grade pay per view, just so Apollo Crews could have got a pay per view win. I don't think they should have just thrown it under the bus and forgot about it and not given Apollo Crews a proper feud or finish that he probably deserved in some way. Now, just give me a second, please. I want to have a quick share of this video now. The link's working. Please bear with me. Na 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 na. On WWE. One minute. I can't spell. There. Coming back to the chat now. Back to the chat. Where's it gone? There. With WWE now, if the crowd doesn't react, drop the feud without warning. Yes, there's been some there's been it. Why can't I speak? There's been some examples of that, but I still think it's a shame because Apollo Crews, new wrestler to your main roster, you've put Apollo Crews in a feud with Sheamus. Sheamus who's meant to be a top guy, a guy who could be putting people over now. I think the feud should have had a finishing point, but I see what you mean. No crowd reaction. Oh, this must suck then. Drop. I just don't see why it can have not finished at a pay-per-view. Here's your pay-per-view match. Apollo Crews wins. That's it. Drop it. And that brings me to what I was saying earlier. Sheamus. Okay. So Sheamus, what are you actually doing? Are you really a big deal now? And this is why I don't get why he's on Raw. Maybe the reason why there was no crowd reaction is because of Apollo more than Sheamus. But still, I'm still wondering what is making Sheamus a big deal right now. What's making him be good for Raw? I agree, but that's how WWE runs the business now. Yes, it is. Okay, bear with me again. I'm just scrolling down a little bit more. Bear with me. Okay, back. Had to send a quick message to someone. Let's have a look. Now, a quick talk on Battleground, because I noticed something when I was looking at the Battleground card. We have SmackDown's Dean Ambrose taking on Raw's Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Okay, so at the moment we only have one main championship, and it's on SmackDown. So if there's going to be two main championships, are we saying the WWE Championship's going to be on SmackDown? So what's so what's Raw going to have? The WWE World Heavyweight Championship, the WWE Secondary Championship. They wouldn't call it that, but maybe they are only going to keep one championship. But as much as I think the champion should be able to switch between both shows to feud with many wrestlers, that would make pay-per-views quite difficult to book, because if he drops that championship to a SmackDown wrestler, what does that mean for the Raw wrestler? So I'm guessing if Dean wins the WWE Championship staying on SmackDown, I just want to know what championship Raw's getting. Raw Zayn versus Raw Owens. Not much to change there. SmackDown John Cena, Raw Enzo Amore and Big Cass versus SmackDown's AJ Styles and Raw's The Club. The Club and AJ have had a good partnership, friendship. So I wouldn't think the Club are going to turn on AJ just because they're on separate shows. I think this match is going to go exactly the way it should. We're going to get an overall winner. And I'm not saying who. I'm not making this a predictions video until Battlegrounds this Sunday. What am I saying? Okay. Backtrack. Who's going to win? Because I think the Raw, the face side, John Cena, Enzo Amore, and Big Cass, they're already established big names, and they don't need to win. I know it's to make them, feel good going into their separate brands. But I would like the Club to win. AJ and the Club. You're establishing the Club as a dominant tag team, and AJ Styles to get a win over John Cena. before they go into the next one-on-one match. But John Cena does need, in WWE's eyes, a win over AJ Styles, because due to the last match where AJ picked up the win thanks to the club. I don't know. Who do you guys think is going to win? John Cena, Big Cass and Enzo Amore, or AJ Styles and the club? SmackDown's Becky Lynch versus SmackDown Natalya. I don't want this feud to finish at Battleground. I think because these two probably need to keep going because of the other feuds that are going on right now. I'd say give Natalya the win here, just to give them a reason to fight again. Keep Becky Lynch on TV. Keep her in a feud. Keep her waiting for her opportunity to go after the championship. So I'll say Natalya to beat Becky Lynch. SmackDown The Miz versus Raw Darren Young. Combining this match with Raw's Rusev versus SmackDown's Zack Ryder. So as you can see, if Darren Young beats The Miz, Raw has both mid-card championships. If Ryder, I can't remember saying this, if Ryder somehow beats Rusev, each show has a mid-card championship. So either Rusev has to beat Ryder, Miz has to beat Darren Young to keep each show with their own mid-card championship, or there's going to be a bit of, okay, predictability, that's the word. Because if Darren Young wins, somehow Ryder's beating Rusev. So my prediction for the mid-card championships is exactly what you'd expect in some way. No championship switch. I think Miz is going to beat Darren Young and Rusev's going to beat Ryder. Yes, earlier I said the Intercontinental title to me is more of a Raw championship. But I think to make things different, have the Intercontinental on SmackDown would be the way to go. So I think no change there. Do you think Bayley will be Sasha's mystery partner? I'll come back to that. There'll be 2 belts. I think Dean will get screwed and Shane and Brian will give Dean a belt. I'll come back to that. Good point. Everyone check out my WWE Draft SmackDown Live review also. Hello. Illa R. Da Sunman. I know you meant to say that a bit faster, but I had to space it out a bit. But right click his name, open new tab, check his channel out, and see what he thinks of the WWE Draft. So the next match listed is New Day, Raw's New Day versus SmackDown's Bray Wyatt and Eric Rowan versus Raw's Strowman. I was thinking in one of these 2 matches, either in Cena, Enzo, and Big Cass versus SmackDown's AJ Styles and the Club, or this one, Raw's New Day versus SmackDown's Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, and Raw Strowman. I was thinking, could we have a turn in one of these matches? Could the Club turn on AJ? Could AJ turn on the club just to make one of them turn face? Then I thought, no, because AJ's got to stay the heel to face Cena. The club are more of a heel tag team, I think. So I don't see a change in that. Could Braun Strowman turn on the Wyatt family? Because the Wyatt family could quite easily be a face. But then I thought, no, you want to keep the Wyatt family as heels as they go against New Day again for the tag team championships. So my thought, because there's a tag team partner that's on the opposite show to their fellow teammates, I thought there could be a twist here, there could be a turn. But thinking logically, I don't see any of the partners turning on their team. But who's going to win? New Day versus the Wyatts. I want to say the Wyatts. I want the Wyatts to continue being a dominant tag team, building their way up to the tag team championship match. But shouldn't the faces keep winning? No, I'm going to say the Wyatt family to prove that they deserve a championship match for the tag team championships. And the one you were saying, Paul, Sasha and versus Charlotte and Dana. On Twitter during Raw, during SmackDown as well, I was saying, could Bayley be Sasha's partner? But then I thought, no. As much as that would be great and a great match to go for, having Bayley on Raw, having Bayley in this match against the WWE Women's Champion, that's saying two things. Number one, another big name is going to Raw. Sorry, SmackDown, another big name's going to Raw. And two, you've already got Bayley in a match against the Women's Champion. You shouldn't rush that, because at the minute Sasha's facing Charlotte. That's the feud, that's the spotlight. So to throw in Bayley, you don't really want Bayley to overshadow Sasha. You don't really want to tease Bayley versus Charlotte already. So I think throwing in Bayley here is going to send up the complete wrong message. Raw's got another big name. Sasha Banks is overshadowed by Bayley. Bayley's already in a match against Charlotte. So I think it's going to be going back up to the Raw roster. Not Nia Jax, because she's a heel. Paige is on Raw, so maybe it's going to be Paige, and people do like Paige. Not Summer Rae. She's not really big enough to give us a wow factor. So I'm going to say Paige. I think it's going to be someone like Paige. I think Paige is going to be Sasha's tag team partner. So the predictions from what we've just spoken about is Sasha and Paige to defeat Charlotte and Dana Brooke. The Wyatt family to defeat the New Day. I don't think there's going to be a mid-card championships mid-card championship change. I think Rusev's going to beat Ryder. Miz is going to beat Darren Young. I know they're trying to make Darren Young great again, but let's say Darren Young beats the Miz. Does Ryder have to beat Rusev? You can't really have both mid-card championships on the same show unless they're finally going to build up to combining both mid-card championships for SummerSlam. Come on. That's wishful thinking. And I don't think I'm going to get that wish. So I think Miz will beat Darren Young and Rusev will beat Ryder. Becky Lynch versus Natalya. I think Natalya is going to beat Becky Lynch so the feud can continue. Cena, Enzo Amore and Big Cass versus The Club and AJ Styles. Cena, if they're going to do the whole take in turns thing, you know, AJ Styles won last match, so Cena's got to win this one. We expect Cena to win. But I'm hoping to Vince, we're not going to have that same trendy thing. Cena one match, AJ the next. Cena one match, AJ the next. Then Cena again, you know, to level it up, to become the winner in the end. So I'm going to say The Club and AJ. I want them to break the trend of taking in turns. Zayn and Owens are both on the same show. And as much as I want Owens to be the spotlight, the guy that continues to win, continues to go forward, could Zayn beat Owens at a pay-per-view? Did that happen last time? Last time these two faced, who won? Who won the last time Zayn and Owens faced each other at a pay-per-view? As for the championship match, I don't think Reigns is going to walk in after being suspended and win the championship. I would love Rollins to get it back. But a part of me thinks Dean's going to retain. A part of me thinks Dean's going to retain. A part of me thinks Dean's going to retain. But a part of it, I've said this earlier, I've said this before, this Shield triple threat match shouldn't have happened. It should have just gone down to Reigns, you did the naughty, you're missing Battleground. It will be Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose. Dean wins, but we did promise you all a Shield triple threat. Have at SummerSlam. I would have preferred that. If, as we're not, I'll say Dean retains. It's not likely because, you know, even though Dean's climbing the ladder to be taken seriously, Rollins is a bit higher than Dean, I think. Like, I think Seth Rollins is being taken more seriously than Dean Ambrose, and Reigns has been obviously, as you've seen by the past few years, as the future. So you'd expect Reigns and Rollins to win, but I'll say Ambrose. Okay, going back to the chat. Oh, there's been no other comments. Okay, I'll refresh. Okay, as we draw this live stream to an end, towards the finish, is there any more thoughts you want to share about the live SmackDown, which I felt didn't really give us hope for the future, because I felt that Raw overstepped SmackDown. SmackDown didn't feel like it was at the same level of Raw. Battleground looks interesting, but again, I can't see much changing on Battleground. I'm not saying my prediction would be right, but I think the championship matches may be as they are. I don't think we're going to get much of a change at Battleground. Something will happen at Battleground. Okay. Surprises that could happen at Battleground. Surprises. I'm not sure what would happen. Maybe Balor will make an appearance during the AJ Styles match. But maybe not. I was thinking having Balor versus AJ, but they're on separate shows. I don't see what could happen, to be honest. I do think every pay-per-view needs one surprise to make a unexpected, unpredictable, good show. There needs to be one surprise to give you that. I wasn't expecting that. Where did that come from? So I hope there is one surprise. I hope I am wrong somewhere in my predictions. I think it needs that surprise factor. A heel or face turn. Well, I did hint that that could be a possibility in the 6-man tag matches. You could have one of the tag team partners turn on their team, but then I thought it wouldn't work. I don't think Cena would turn on Enzo and Big Cass, vice versa. I don't think AJ will turn on the club because you need to keep AJ as a heel to face John Cena. The club are more of a heel tag team. The New Day are face and a heel when they want to be. So I don't really see them turning, especially when they're a good trio. Yes, you've seen Xavier Woods showing some fear towards the Wyatt family. I can't see Xavier Woods in the Wyatt family. Xavier Woods wouldn't really fit in the Wyatt family. So I think it's probably just to help Wyatt to get the win at these pay-per-views, these matches. I don't think it's to make Xavier Woods turn on his group. I don't think that. Braun Strowman to turn face and take out the Wyatts could happen, but I can't see Braun Strowman as a face. Maybe because he's not really had that time on his own to do it. But I just see Braun Strowman as a heel. Dana Brooke turning on Charlotte could happen, but I think the tag team of Charlotte and, in my prediction, Paige is a strong enough team to defeat Charlotte without Dana turning on Charlotte. Lana to turn on Rusev, not with the whole marriage proposal, wedding, engage thing going on there. Bob to turn on Darren, not when we're trying to make Darren Young great again. Not saying it's a bad thing. I just, I don't really believe this is going to grow into anything too big. But I do like the fact that Titus is his own name, his own wrestler now. So why not do something with Darren Young? Maurice to turn the Miz. I don't think that they're too in love. I don't see that. And the triple threat match, there's not really much turning on there. Reigns. Oh, come on. Paul. Reigns will turn on Dean. That's pretty much already happened. Dean's already took out Reigns, you know, dirty deeds in the ring. That's what helped to build up this triple threat match. That's what helped to make Dean champion. So I don't think Reigns turning on Dean is really a factor. I think they're already broken up. They're already not really friends or a tag team anymore. Even though you see them joking sometimes in the ring, I don't think they're a team anymore. So to be honest, I don't see any face or heel changes. Am I looking forward to Battleground? Slightly. But overall, the draft, I didn't really agree with the draft. I've gone into a bit of detail in this video. So if you want to hear more of my thoughts, watch this video back after it's uploaded. And I think there's going to be a few corrections going forward. I think over the next few weeks, pushing months, if they want to give this current format a go. But I do think we're going to get some turn their back on their brand, contract signing, trades going on. I do think that will happen at some point. I think things are going to change. Two Raw superstars against SmackDown. Yeah, I see what you mean, but Seth and Reigns are not really a partnership, are they? They don't like each other, and I don't think they would team up to take out Ambrose. Have to go enjoy the stream, NJ. You're welcome. This was very quickly put together and done. I was a bit all over the place, but hopefully by what I've shared in this live stream, you get a rough idea of how I felt about the trades, the drafts. But I may do a later video, a more put together video when it's not so hot, when I've re-looked at the roster, narrowed it down a bit to a few more talking points, maybe after Battleground, so I can see what direction they're going in. Maybe the Raw after Battleground to see what escalates there. I don't know, but I will be doing probably a few more videos based on the draft and the direction in the future. But as there's no other comments to read in this video, I think I'll just say this. I'm surprised Mick Foley and Stephanie are working together due to the history the McMahons have had with Mick Foley. Daniel Bryan back on WWE live TV. Well, if he's going to be on TV telling people what to do, boss people around, aren't wrestlers going to want to attack him? The heels want to attack Bryan. And how many bumps can Bryan take? Can he take a RKO from a later down the line heel Randy Orton? Can he take a attitude adjustment from Cena? It's not going to happen, but you know, oh yeah, I'm dating your fiance's sister. I don't appreciate you telling me what to do. That little concept would have been funny. So I'm not sure how many bumps Bryan can take. So to have him as the leading mouthpiece for SmackDown, may not really help his confrontation with the heels on SmackDown. And also, if the WWE had booked this building up to Survivor Series from, let's say, the Raw after WrestleMania to Survivor Series, that could have been a nice build-up of a short-term draft. You could have had Team Raw versus Team SmackDown over the course of WrestleMania to Survivor Series, and the winner of the Survivor Series match, Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, would have been the overall showrunner of Raw and SmackDown. That would have been better than what I think we're getting right now. I also want to know where Triple H is going to fit, because Triple H, I'm pretty sure, is going to be on Raw with Stephanie. But there's the whole rumor of Shane versus Triple H somewhere down the line. When and how they're going to make that happen? Are we going to have the constant SmackDown invading Raw, and that gets to a point where Stephanie, Triple H agree or create the match for the full ownership? Or was that rumor just gone now? Also, will Triple H get his rematch for the WWE Championship? But who would he feud with? Roman Reigns to have a rematch there, pick up the win there? Or would he face Seth Rollins? Because for some reason, Seth Rollins is still doing the pedigree. So I'm going to give the WWE Draft a chance, see how it goes, see how it works out. But because of my disconnect from the WWE wrestling in general, because of how I feel about how the draft is right here, right now, I'm not sure how I'm going to feel going forward. I'm not sure if it's going to be a positive feeling. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but only time will tell. Thank you very much for watching this live stream, people. Keep your eye out for future live streams or British Fist videos. Until next time, I've been NJ. What's up? I'm feeling very hot right now. This drink's not really working. I'm going to go and cool down. Check out what other live streams are going on right now. Until next time, goodbye.